Okay, and we are live now.
Hello.
So, hello everybody. This is our weekly live stream for myself and Chong Hao. We are solving. All right, wait. Yeah, we are solving business problems with AI automation and AI agents. Yeah, and in this week, right, the question that we have is, hey, Lionel, how can I improve my online sales in 2026? And so the question is a bit more generalized because from some of the business owners that we meet, they are experts in their own business, but they need more information about what they can do in this online space right now with AI moving so fast, with like all the softwares really changing every 6 months or so. And I'll just want to say like how crazy it is, right, to be in such a time, right, that 6 months ago AI agent was not a thing, but today AI agents can do so much for everyday people, for businesses. And that's why we decided to do a more generalized questions, right? So that business owners tuning in, right, they can just go through this whole thing and find the piece that they want to implement in their business, right? And then just focus on that first. And likewise, I always tell business owners, right? You are not going to change your business overnight into an AI business. But if you start implementing small pieces of it, then you can slowly transform the small critical pieces of it. And if you ask me, right, whenever I go into a business to do diagnosis for them, do consultation for them, right, I always just ask myself, what is the path of least resistance for this business to implement AI into their business? All right, without further ado, let's start. So yeah, Chong Hao, can you run us through like what are the functionalities that we need to put in to improve this online sales component?
Yeah. So I think how we want to answer this question today, right, is through using of softwares. So why do we choose to use software? Because softwares is a good way once you implement and you automate everything correctly, right? It is part of your operating system, meaning like your daily operations in your business. If you need someone to fill in this or to do a certain thing, all of these are part of the operations. And if you have a very strong software stack that can support whatever we'll be sharing later, right, it will definitely improve your operations. And when I say improve, it means that it will help you to generate more revenue. It will help you to reduce errors, reduce workload, and still achieve everything consistently. So yeah, improve operations with lesser errors and ops load, and to make sure that it's consistent. And once you turn on the plug, in this case, the water, when you turn on, more water will come out, right? And this part is what we call the paid ads, or whatever acquisition channel that you are using. If you increase the volume of that with a software, everything can still hold very strongly. But if you are working without a software or a very standardized operations, right, you need to hire new people, you need to train them, and you need to work with different people with different talents, different learning capabilities, and different attitude. And as a result, the output, even after going them through the same teaching, the same training, right, will still be different. But for software and for AIs, they will be very consistent. Okay, so let us jump straight to the content, which is what are some of the features, right, that we actively find in a software before we decide whether this software is suitable for helping this business. So I'll be covering the features. Uh, there may be different software with different features, so I'll just cover the features and focus on them. Then we try to do in a quick way because actually this list, right, is quite long, but we want to be as complete as possible to cover three things. Number one is lead generation. Number two, lead nurture. And number three, the conversion itself. Okay. So the first item here is to have a website lead capture form with conditional logic. So you need to have a form to capture the lead's name, details, and some of the qualifying questions that you may want them to fill up. That way, you know how to contact them. They showed interest in your business. They want to either book a trial, pay booking fee, or book an appointment with you. They need to fill out a form for you to capture it. So your software to improve your online sales, right, must definitely be able to have a form. And why I add with conditional logic behind, because sometimes we want to qualify them first. It is too easy, right, for people to sign up for things online. And a lot of these leads, right, could be very rubbish leads, meaning that they just sign up for fun, or they don't even know what they sign up for. We experience this a lot, especially when we are running paid advertisement on Meta and Google. So we don't really want to waste resources and time. We make sure that we qualify them on the form itself. We only want people who are serious. We don't want to waste time and resources on people who are, we call them the rubbish leads.
100% agree. So, but I'll also say this, if your business don't even have enough flow, right? Yeah, probably you need to maximize your flow first before you start to start to have conditional logic down there. Yeah, before you start to qualify people, because when you start to qualify people, right, you will be filtering out people. Right, next.
Okay. Next is to have a landing page or a funnel builder for marketing campaigns. So this is more specifically if you are running paid advertising. So what's the difference between landing page and a website, right? A website is your homepage. You usually talk about your brand philosophy, about us, your brand, what you sell and everything. But that is not the most optimized for online sales conversion, which is why you need to build a landing page so that this one single page, right, is only going to push for one thing, which is to get them to fill the form or to get them to make payment. Everything else is a distraction. We remove everything. So this is why sometimes when you click on an ads on Facebook or Google, right, you'll notice that the page looks very different from their website. And there's only one thing to do, which is to fill up the form or to make payment. And that is a landing page. If you're running paid ads, this is very important.
Yeah, so 2026 marketing strategy, it is still using landing page and a funnel. Yeah, so maybe unnatural for a lot of people to do it, but this is still the most effective in terms of conversion.
Yep. Okay. Next one is to have a WhatsApp click to chat integration. So click to chat, right? Meaning, sometimes when you go to a website on the bottom right-hand corner, there is a chat icon. And this chat icon, when you click on it, right, you can talk to support or ask for help or any inquiries that you want. For us, we believe that, especially in Singapore, because we are working with more Singapore companies, WhatsApp is the most prominent chat platform in Singapore, which is why we push for this. And depending on the chat platform that is most popular in your country, you can switch this accordingly. It could be Messenger, it could be Line or KakaoTalk if they support this click to chat integration option.
Yeah, I think this is really where you start to stand out in 2026, because most people, right, will have a chat button that when you click, right, immediately you send out a message and then you get an automated response. And I mean that as a lead, right, that is interested in the business, and then the moment you get an automated response, right, it's like, oh, okay, there's no one even manning the phone. But if you get a AI agent on board, right, and then you are able to immediately respond to the lead itself, right, I'll just tell you, your chances of getting the lead to pay you backend increase by 4 times. And there is nothing in your entire marketing funnel, right, that has a higher chance of increasing your sales than this immediate response. So this is what I will say the biggest breakthrough in 2025, 2026, to have this AI agent to come into your business and really help you to close leads.
Yep. So I think further down, like what Lionel just said, which is the automated response. This one we cover later, okay? But it's below. Okay, next is the QR code. So we realize that more and more people are very familiar with scanning QR code to do things. It could be a form, it could be, a menu to order things. So if you have a physical online store and you need them to see your menu or fill out a form or, check in when they are there, have a QR code generator that can help you to create and let people reach that form quicker is actually quite important in this current time and age. Okay, next will be multi-channel inquiry capture. So I think this is very similar to the click to chat integration, but we usually push for WhatsApp. In case you don't use WhatsApp, you can also do another platform for inquiry, like especially if you're running ads on Meta, there are Messenger there as well. So you need to be able to support that to capture all of the inquiries that are coming in. Okay, next will be marketing attribution. So this is more for paid ads. Okay, so I'll write down here paid ads. You need to be able to track the UTMs well. So it means that this is usually available on the paid ads platform itself, like for example, Meta and Google will allow you to put in UTM parameters. So why are we putting in this? Because you want to know where this lead is coming from which campaign, from which advertisement. Because when you run ads, you will usually run different pictures, different videos, and you want to know which exact video is doing well. Because once you have that information, you can either increase the budget for that video or you do more of such video so that, you produce the best video to get the highest chance of getting more customers in. Okay, so UTM tracking is currently the most accurate and it is not blocked by Apple or Google. Next one is advertising platform attribution. So UTM tracking is one thing. This is for our own. But if you want to transfer this data back to Meta Ads and Google Ads so that you can leverage on their $1 billion machine learning, right? Then you need to be able to transfer back. For Meta is FB Click ID, and for Google is G Click ID. Okay, so the software must be able to send this data back to Meta or Google so that your ads can run better. If you don't send this back, they may not be able to run very well, and the machine learning will keep learning the wrong things. It will not learn the best video because it doesn't even know that it is this video that brought in your sales or your appointment.
Yeah, so on this note, I will just say that for business owners, right, what it means, right, is that typically you're probably getting someone to run your ads or your own internal team to run your ads, right? You need to ask them, hey, Meta or Google, which one is producing better ROI, which one is producing more leads, and also what is the creatives, what is the copy that is giving us the best leads. So when you are able to track that, right, you as a business owner shouldn't need to know how to set up, but you should know that, hey, all these informations, right, are available for you. And when you are able to ask all these questions, right, then you can spend way better, more effective on the platforms that work, on the creatives that works, on the copy that works. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, next will be lead source and campaign performance reporting. So like what Lionel say, you need to have a very strong understanding of what metrics to look at so that you know what videos to increase more budget for. So this is a dashboard that you must be able to have to see the performance for your business.
Okay,
next will
cool.
be, yeah.
So next will be engagement, follow-up, and broadcasting of messages. So no matter how we want to look at it, right? I mean, email, text messages, all these are still very effective way of grabbing attention from your leads. So what we want to do, right, is we want to automate it. And that's why we have automated WhatsApp and email responses for new inquiries, right? We want to automate it. We want to make it sequential. We want to make it customized to your campaigns as well. So these will have the highest chance, right, to get your leads to take action. Okay. Chong Ha, anything to add down here?
Mm, I can just go through the list
Yeah.
so that it'll be faster. So when people fill up the form, you want to be able to reach out to them as quick as possible. If not, they might forget about you. Then when, like I said, you want to filter them, right? You want to make sure that the leads qualify. So the automated lead qualification questions, if you can integrate an AI agent to help you to, filter this group of people, it will be the most ideal. Follow-up sequence. This means that sometimes when people sign up, they may not be ready to take the action yet because it could be making payment or it could be choosing a time, but they are not so sure whether they need time to think about it. So in case they forget about you, right? You want to set up follow-up. So maybe 2 days later, you send another message or email so that they will remember that, oh yeah, I forgot to reply you. Okay. Same thing, reminders for unresponsive leads. Promotion broadcast means that you can do a blast if you have a new product, if you have a new discount, or if you have any new things that you want to push, right? Your software should be able to support promotional broadcast either via WhatsApp or via email.
Okay. So in terms of promotional broadcast, right, I just want to take uh 1-2 minutes to elaborate a bit because I work with business owners, right? And like more and more, right, it like WhatsApp is restricting like what kind of broadcasts people can do, right? So that's why I spoke to a lot of businesses previously. What they have been doing, right, is that they have a customer list, and then every time they have a new product, they will go to their customer list and then start copy pasting messages and then sending out copy pasting messages and then sending out copy pasting messages and then start sending out. And if you are still doing it today like that, right, you will likely face a situation where your account will get restricted. At the start, you will be restricted for 24 hours. Then after that, you will be 48 hours. And then after that, you will be an entire month. And for severe cases, you cannot even get back your account. So I want to say that in this kind of cases, right, what WhatsApp is trying to tell you is that, hey, you can do this kind of broadcast, but what you need to do is that you need to pay Meta to do this kind of broadcast, right? And I want to say, based on the cost of sending this kind of broadcast in 2026, right? Email versus a WhatsApp blast, right? The WhatsApp blast costs 10 times more than an email blast. Chong, am correct, right?
Yes, about there.
Yeah. So an email is 10 times cheaper than a WhatsApp blast. So for example, a WhatsApp blast, right? You send WhatsApp blast to one person, it's going to cost 10 cents. But if you send an email blast to a person, right, it's going to cost 1 cent. Okay, but let me tell you this. The effectiveness of WhatsApp blast compared to an email blast, right, is 22 times more effective. Meaning for every wait, how do I okay. So meaning, right, if you blast a message if you blast the same kind of message, right, to 100 people on WhatsApp and on email, all right, the WhatsApp one will cost 10 times more expensive, but the WhatsApp one will have 22 times more people taking action on the next move that you want people to do compared to an email. So at the end of the day, right, if you ask me, more expensive by 10 times, but more effective by 22 times, right, WhatsApp will win every single time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's more important for businesses with a lower number of leads or customers. And when I say lower, right, I actually mean less than 10,000. Because if you have more, when you send email, it is more cost effective. But if you have less, right, then you might as well make sure that every promotional broadcast that you do is most effective. Then might as well use WhatsApp, which is 22 times more effective.
Yeah.
Okay, so then once they come for your appointment or anything, make sure to be able to send a follow-up automation so that you convert trials into package purchases. This is getting real money from them rather than, just coming for a trial. Okay, next section is to have AI customer conversation management. So a lot of things above, right? It is relevant to this engagement part, but we want to make sure that AI can cover most of this because AI nowadays are really a lot smarter and a lot faster. Okay, so you want to make sure that you can AI power your WhatsApp chat, in this case, WhatsApp, because we use WhatsApp the most, so that the WhatsApp can instantly reply to the customers quickly. If you don't reply them within 1 hour, they may just find other competitors already.
It's not even within 1 hour. If you don't reply to your leads within 30 seconds, right? You're just going to find another option.
Yep. Because let's say if you are urgent, right, then they are already messaging probably 3 or 4 companies, and whoever can reply the fastest that fit their what they need, they will go with them immediately.
Yeah, and I also want to elaborate on this AI-powered instant replies via WhatsApp, right? Is that it's not any, you shouldn't just use any generic AI because a human that is like talking to this AI, right, very quickly will detect this. I'm just talking to AI, like, what's the point? Okay. You want an AI that you can train based on your business knowledge, right? Like exactly what we wrote down there, right? Based on your knowledge, based on your brand voice, based on your business goals. So that this AI, right, not just know how to answer messages, this AI knows how to steer leads into the right direction, into the right next action sequence you want them to take. So, for example, right, we have AI that we implemented for our business, right? That what all we want them to do, right, is to get the lead to bring their kids down for appointment for a studio tour. And the AI not just answer question, the AI is actively trying to get the leads to do so. And that become very powerful because now you not just have an AI that is helping you to respond to questions, you have an AI that is actually helping you to do sales. Okay.
Yep. So it should be able to handle common inquiries, like what is the price, when are the classes, what's the location of your store, and okay, experience level is more for our fitness studio because they will also ask like how experienced are you in these specific sports. Okay, so if it's relevant, you can put in. Then it should also have a conversation memory and context tracking. This means that when the lead, shared a certain thing about themselves to the AI, right? The AI should remember it and in the future be able to recall so that, right, you can create a very personalized experience that, hey, this person, to them is this person because they cannot tell that is a AI. So it will be able to recall and remember this person well, like a normal human being. And I think what's more important now, right, is that it must be able to escalate to human staff when required. For example, if the uh, lead asks a question that is outside of its knowledge, then it needs to be able to inform your staff and to come in, take over the conversation, and then train the AI accordingly from there. Because it is important that the AI does not hallucinate. It does not say things that are not real, that are fake, that are not your business. Okay, so escalation to human staff is actually quite important. Next is to have a CRM, is a centralized contact database so that you can save everything here. And ideally, your team only manage this portion. Everything else, right, should be integrated automatically. so that it is easy for them to use and a single source of truth. Everything if you need to find, you can simply just find at your CRM, which is a customer relationship management tool. So you should be able to track the lead status and the pipeline visibility. This lead is it still waiting for a trial? Has he booked for a trial? Has he attended a trial? If you have a Kanban board that can show all this very well, I think this is also important for the sales team. And for you as the manager or the business owner to see with full visibility. Okay, tagging and segmentation. This is so that you can tell this person what's the experience level, what's the class that they are interested in. Conversation history together with the customers. Unified inbox. If you have WhatsApp and email, it should be one platform to see both of these. And if you also do sales call, then it should also be able to appear on the dashboard itself. Internal notes so that your team can collaborate. Like for example, if this customer has a specific needs, allergic to cats, okay, then you write it in the note so that other staff, when they rotate their shift, will be able to know to manage the customer accordingly. And for new leads, key appointments, key events like new leads or trial booking, to be able to notify the staff so that they know that, oh, this person has booked a trial, I should be expecting him on the day itself. Okay, sales pipeline, same as above, to have a visual Kanban board that can tell you where each stages of the leads are, able to move them. So like you move them from just a lead to they have already booked a trial, and then can track the values and everything. Ideally, this is automated. If your AI is managing everything, it should be able to update this pipeline accordingly. So track how many leads go over to trial and how many trial goes over to purchase. And finally, a dashboard to see all of the numbers that are doing well. Okay, this is an example of the pipeline stages. So like from the new leads, have you contacted them before? Has the trial been scheduled? Has the trial been completed? Package offered, package purchased.
So I will say this, right? Like if you see that we focus a lot on like how do we make it easier for the team, right, to do their job? How do we make it easier for the leads, right, to buy from your business? All right, how do we achieve the consistency in the business so that we can get more and more leads to buy from your business and to give the business owner better visibility of how many leads are in the pipeline stages, how many are new leads, how many are contacted, how many are, for example, package offered, all this. To me, this is really what the business owner need, because these are critical data that the business owner need to make decisions, right? So this is the reason why we built all this into our software, to be able to help business owners, right, to run their sales campaign in the most efficient way that they can track, and then to maximize the results.
Yep. Okay. So next will be if you have a retail space where you let your customers come down for trial, right? It should be able to do trial class scheduling and booking. So add your classes into the booking calendar, and then with all of the slots availability. For example, if your class only manage 12 students, then it should limit them to 12 and not overbook the class. Okay, so booking confirmation and trial reminders, all this should be able to set up and automate. A wait list management if the class is full. Staff calendar synchronization. If you have different staff managing the different classes, then it should synchronize to their calendar as well so that they know and it doesn't conflict with any other appointments that they may have. And those that do not show up for the class, to have a no-show recovery follow-up message. If you are collecting payment, which I think most of you should do, so that you can collect payment online, since online payment is so normal nowadays,
But I will just say this thing. Uh, if you are a business that you are not collecting payment online because you have never done it before, because you are afraid to do it, because you are scared, hey, what if something goes wrong, right? I'll just say this is very normal, right? And that's why, right, for us, we have even gone one step further than collecting payment online. We have gone to the stage of just using AI to collect payment, to chase for payment. And beyond that, right, is to get the AI agents to reconcile all these payment as well, to verify all these payment. So Chonghao will talk more about it now.
I think the reconcile one is not here because that was a very specific use case. But yes, we can, depending on how you bring the information to the AI agent. The AI agent can either connect to bank statements that you upload. Ideally, moving forward, we have our local banks able to connect to the back end. But I do understand that they do not have this feature. But what we can do is we download the bank statement and throw it into the AI agent, and it should be able to know who made payment, this payment came from where, uh, how much did this person pay, and then match this payment accordingly. Okay. So, okay, package allocation to customer profile. This is also more for the fitness studio because they may have a different package, like a 4-month package, 12 months, or 24 months to assign this thing automatically to the customer. Online payment collection and to give them a payment link. This payment link could be a PayNow, a QR code. It could be a credit card link. So you send to them and they put in their details to make payment. Then, of course, payment history should be tracked so that you know that this person has been paying on time and how much did they pay in total. And it should all go into your reporting as well. Okay, communication tracking and operational monitoring. This is more for the business owner and the managers. You want to know how well your team is operating, how well the whole automation software and your business is working. And being able to see and know all these numbers is very important, which is why you want to be able to see if you're sending out messages, what is the open rate, what is the reply rate, and what is the click rate of everything that you are sending out. How many people who come in actually book your trial? How many people that come in for your trial actually make payment? So all these are important metrics to track so that you know that your business is doing well. If you are doing sales call, to track the phone call and then to see to have a call recording and to know what's the next thing to do in the call. Okay, dashboard with the response speed monitoring. Time to first response. This is similar to the first line. Okay, last one is the customer reviews. So when people experience your business, whether they is a restaurant, they ate, they went for a trial class, they love the class and everything, it should always contribute back to your business so that you can build up your reputation and attract even more people. So there is a way to actually automate review collection, meaning once they experience your business, it could be a class, it could be the product or whatever, ask them to leave a review. And if you can give them something small, like for example, a small discount or a small gift, even better. The reviews will come in very quickly and it can really help to increase the reputation of your business. Okay. And of course, a way to review to see the reviews coming in, as well as to see how many reviews and what's the stars that you are getting in the recent few reviews. Okay, so I think the whole list above is what we will take a look at the software, what they can do, so that it can support our clients' business better, especially to push for their online sales.
Okay, cool. So Chonghao, I've also added two questions, right? Like people always ask us, right? Like number one is, hey, what is the maintenance that we need after we implement this system?
Okay, so it looks like a lot of features down here, right? And I have to admit that it is not easy to implement all of this. it is an ongoing implementation, and sometimes it may take months if I say 100% of this. Okay. If it's just a portion of it, right, it will take as quick as like a few days. So the startup implementation one time, right, is usually the hardest part. And that's also the longest. But once you have everything set up, right, if it's you choose the correct software that can do everything that you need well, it can automate a lot of things. You add AI agents to support majority of the things above as well. Actually, the maintenance is not a lot. And in fact, right, I feel that I love to set up all these things and trust them more, because once you set up correctly, right, they will definitely run accurately without any mistakes. Because the setup is where you debug everything, then you will be sure that it will definitely run that way. So maintenance to me, right, is actually almost zero once we implement. It's really the startup uh first time setup, right, that is really difficult to do. Then probably, okay, maybe I don't say zero, but the small maintenance that we have is to make sure that if there's any edge cases that comes out, we loop that in so that it will become even smarter, the whole system. And probably maintenance in terms of like improving the whole system. If there's a way to make it more efficient or to make it even better, then this is will be part of the maintenance as well. But it's very, very low.
So also, right, additional question, right, is how often do we need to refresh this?
How often do we need to refresh this? I feel it depends on your business requirement as well as the technology advancement. So technology advancement, even though a lot of things are moving so quickly, right? Like last 2 years, we don't even have a very powerful AI. Suddenly this year, everyone is talking about AI agents. I would think that a system that is built based on like all the features above, right, is much more robust and can handle tech improvement better. So what I mean is that it doesn't become outdated very quickly, because majority of these things, right, will be built based on your current business operations. Unless your business changes, instead of like collecting payment online, you want to collect a different way, then yes, this is the part where we will need to uh update or refresh that part a bit. But I wouldn't see a lot of need to refresh the whole system almost at all. Probably part by part, but not all at one go.
Okay, cool. So I think that one thing that business owners are always very scared of, right, is that, hey, uh when I want to refresh the system, does it mean that I need to like throw away all the old things that I've built so far?
Actually, I think it depends on the the vendor that is doing for you. For us, right, what we believe is that we should maintain as much of the old system as much as possible, because this is what your staff is familiar with. And if you change too much of it, right, they have to learn through the whole thing. There's a very uh difficult change management that you need to go through. Then this is also the time where a lot more mistakes will happen, and it might
100%
it
agree.
might cost your business a lot more. So yeah, we try to build on top rather than to refresh like the whole thing.
Yeah. So for me, I really see like business and building all these things, right, like as Lego bricks. If I build up a house already, right, I'm not going to tear down a house and then like build another house. I'm just going to on this house, like see if I can build a second floor, see if I can build a third floor. Yeah. And really just try to improve the system, because that will also be how your employees are most familiar with, you are most familiar with, your customers are most familiar with, right? Because many times I see businesses, right, go into a juncture of like trying to revamp the whole system, right? It's like starting a whole new business. Yeah. So to me, I really don't recommend that.
Yep. So I think
Yeah.
to add on top of it, right, when we introduce new things to the system, right, we try to make it automated. Meaning, right, there is no extra work that you or your staff needs to work on. Everything is behind. For example, in the past, if you are not collecting online payment, now to collect online payment, I will just generate a link. You can either get your staff to send it accordingly, print out a QR code to paste on your retail store, or to get the AI agent to send this link automatically. So it doesn't becomes like a new thing. Everything is automated more smoothly. You will almost feel like there is no change to the system. But actually at the back end, right, everything is actually running automatically. The AI agents is working based on the rules and goals that you set for them.
Okay, cool. So anyway, we have come to the end of this. I think we have some audience. We have one audience. All right. Nepal422 say great information. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much.
If you have questions, yeah, you can drop us questions in the text box, or you can always just drop me an email. Wait, let me just put out my email on the page.
Can put it on the description also, so it's easier for them to capture.
So you can drop me an email, find out what we do, and then and just have a chat about what AI can do for your business. All right. So thank you very much.
I know. Wait, you want to drop a soft advertising for our own stuff?
Oh, for our okay, can.
So basically, even though we say that these are all the things that we look for in a software, right? Actually, we are able to provide this one-stop solution for our businesses now, because we strongly believe that these are all the things to achieve the maximum lead generation, lead nurture, as well as sales conversion. So I would say, are still building. I wouldn't say that we are there yet. One-stop solution software that can achieve all of this. So if you are keen to learn more, same thing, you can email Liner. We can have more discussion to understand your business and to see, do you need a new system to integrate on top of it, or is it just a portion of it to install AI agents on?
Okay, cool. So I want to say everything that we have covered, all these are things that we have done and implemented for businesses. That's why we are talking about it. We are not talking about like, hey, what, it will be great if you can do this. No, these are things that we have done for many different businesses and it has given them results. So if you want to try this thing out, drop me a message. I can show you the demo of how all this thing works. All right. Thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thank you.